Righto guys, I was going to do a live stream on this, okay, but sometimes the quality isn't as good, so this is a one take. This is the ramblings of a crazy old man wondering if he should sell this car because, I don't know, I love them. We're going to go for a drive. I've got to wash it. I've bought a clay bar kit and stuff here to do the paint today. Nothing special, just a normal one. Go through, polish it, drive it, show you what this thing is guys, what I'm going to have to do to it to get it to the point where I want to sell it. The price will be a price point between 35 and 40 grand, which is what these sell for. But we'll start out, I'm a little bit okay with selling it because I have these two. So I'll show you my other two. I didn't build this car, okay, so that's where it sort of is a bit funny for me because if I haven't, we've done a fair bit to it actually when we took it to that last car show, but there's a lot of bits and pieces that need to be done on it again. But anyway, ramblings of a crazy man. Am I going to fall in love again with my SS? But I'll show you my other two. So the other two SSs I've got are both VNSSs, both Phoenix Red, the same as my one. One is a factory manual. It's missing the manual box. Both these cars aren't rusty, which is good. They're both in disrepair, but yeah. So this one here will get a full restoration. And then sold. The one at the back is probably one I'll keep, but this one here, it looks extremely bad, I can see that, but it's missing the manual box. I've got to find that. The rest of it's pretty much there. It's only got a stock motor and stuff in it. It's not rusty around the windows and stuff like a lot of them are. The interior is grubby at best, but I do have other interiors. I've got a lot of pieces to put onto this car to bring it back to where it needs to be, and I know this thing looks rough and I'm well aware of that, but it's a VNSS and it's a factory manual non-power pack. On these cars, power pack means it's got electric windows and stuff. Well, just electric windows really brings it to power pack, and probably cruise control, which this one doesn't have cruise control, so that makes it a power pack in these. But a lot of people with the older cars prefer to not have electric windows. They prefer wind-ups, and that being a manual. So I'm going to start looking for a manual box set up for it. The motor's still fine, but we may freshen it up, but that will be for sale down the track. Now if I sell that SS, this is me working out in my head which way to jump, because I'm very torn on this one. Normally I just sell a car, I don't care. By selling that car, okay, so the workshop we're in at the moment, I pay for this week. So then I can build that back section out and concrete and put in a couple of new hoists and a couple of rotisseries to do cars like this on a rotisserie. That will pay for that. So do I just move on to be able to then build this one? And I also have this one up the back here, which once again, I bought this car up the back here for when I was moving grain for a company called Sizer & Kogel, running road trains and stuff out west and back into the port. This one was in Millmerran in a backyard. It come with a big aluminium drop tank. There was no motor and box that come with it. So my plan for this will be LS turbo. And I've mentioned it before, the Greg Norman interior. So Greg Norman brought out it was a black VN, and it had like a piano finish strip that ran around the top of the door trims and across the dash, and it's like a tan leather. It's been juggled from each daughter's bedroom cupboard for years, but it was a full interior, every bit of plastic, every clip, the carpet, the whole lot. So because this thing there's just another SS, but it's got a Calais interior in it and no motor and box. So as rough as it is, it's not rusty. It's been under cover and off the ground for a long time. The pH levels in our soil here don't promote rust, which is also a huge thing. So I don't have the turbo kit for this. I've got everything else, the gearboxes, the diff. There's a diff there which is a 308 LSD, and I've got another one sitting just there on the ground because my SS has a 411 mini spool diff in it, which that's a 308 one there. I got that thrown in on the deal with that HR there years ago. The 411 mini spool in my car makes it a rocket ship. Like off the line, she just hooks. First gear's real short, so when you get to second gear, and the gearbox in that thing is so good. I wish the box I just got built is as good as that box. Like the box in that thing is so good. It just snaps second, it's beautiful, but it's a mini spool, which means 2 wheels constant all the time, so when you turn a corner it's like that. So do I sell that with the spool in it, or do I pull it out? Is someone not going to want that? But at the same time, it makes that car. But anyway, so they're the other 2 I've got. Let's head back to the car. We'll take it for a drive, and yeah, we'll take it for a drive, see if I fall in love again, which we all know I'm going to. But I don't know, I'm torn, guys. What do? You know, like I do preach to guys all the time that they say, oh, I'm having a baby, or my wife's having a baby. If they were having a baby, they'd make that much money for being an oddity that they could keep all the cars. I say to them, look, just put it in a, you know, put it in a storage shed for a year or 18 months, pay the fee up front, and come back to it in a year's time. See if you still want to sell it. I've been off and on going to sell this car for years, haven't I? Well, I've owned that for 10 years nearly, I think, and I've never registered it in my name. I've used the trade plate to keep it going so the injectors don't seize up and stuff like that, but I've never actually registered it. Or do I love it too much? Is it just the point that I don't want to park it? It's got no shopping dints in the side of it. The paint was fresh when I got it, and it was a really well done paint job. Whoever done it was from Melbourne. Done a really great job doing the black strips, and that sort of stuff really sets that car off. For me to park that in a shopping car park or leave it somewhere, I just don't know. Honestly, guys, I don't know. I would love the money from it. I don't at this point now. I was going to put a shed and stuff up here. I'm putting a carport up, but I can't leave that out the front. Storage is my other big problem. I do have another 2. And before you're sitting there going, oh, this dude's so lucky, you know, he's got all these cars and everything, just so as we're all on the same page, no one gave me money. I worked for it and sacrificed, and my family sacrificed also for me to be able to buy all these cars. There are a lot of no's in our house, a lot of going without. There was no holidays and stuff like that in order for me to put together what I've done. I have a very understanding family, but they all understand that it's for them long term. That, yeah, so no tears please over I've got this, I've got that. You guys are no different to me. I have no education the same as a lot of you guys. I work, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't drink anymore. They're the decisions I made to be able to buy cars. But anyway, okay, so please, no tears. Don't make me feel bad about working hard and owning things. But I am sharing with you. Here we go. Righto, so I have the bonnet up. So this thing, when I got the car, okay, the motor was like new. The guy actually built this to be a burnout car. That's why it's got the 411 mini spool in it. So the motor had just been done. It does have a 304 in it, not an older 308. It does have roller rockers in it. It's got a mild cam. The auto, as I said before, is absolutely phenomenal. It is clean and tidy. I'm going to go through. I'm probably going to order a new washer bottle up, so that painted monstrosity thing there is gone. I'm going to go through, polish the engine bay. I'll repolish all this because you can see underneath that it's actually all polished and quite good. I'm going to detail this thing within an inch of its life, under the bonnet, the whole lot, and we'll go from there. Like last time we got it going, because it sat, the power steering rack started leaking, so we've replaced that. We've done an exhaust system on it recently as well. It is just a good car, you know, like little things like adding these on. These didn't come out factory on a VN, these are like VS, but having bonnet struts instead of your bonnet thing. I've left that there because it's an original part of the car, but I don't know. And you can see these strips on a VN, they're normally not painted. They are a black, but they're a satin black. That makes the car, to be honest, guys. When you look at photos of this thing with those strips, we're going to go and wash it now, okay, and take it for a run. And the mirrors being painted. It's little bits and pieces like that that really set this car apart from a lot of the ones around. So, yeah, Nicole's going to come for a drive and film for us today. This video is going to go for a little while of me just rambling garbage, I suppose, and talking to you about cars and making a decision on what I'm going to do. I'm pretty positive I'm going to sell it, and I'm pretty positive it's going to go through Grays Online auctions, because I really don't want to deal with the people. I'm finding it very hard recently selling cars to people, people's expectations, and even working with them with the towing is getting harder. So just so you guys understand. Unless, I will sell it privately, but I don't want any dicking about. I'll be completely honest with this car with you and what it is. But it is what it is. They are expensive, they're going up. I know that in the next 5 years, it'll probably go up another $15,000. But I'm banking on selling the car using the money at the workshop will make me more than $15,000 in those couple of years. And I have other cars, but I pulled up in the Jag last night, right? And we've got to do push rods in the Jag now because of the other heads, the geometry of the rockers isn't quite right, so it's holding oil in the rocker covers, which is then coming out the breather, which is then making it leak. So we've now got to order, you know, order longer push rods to change the geometry of the rockers so that they drain back properly. Little things like that, you modify these cars. But then I pulled up next to this, and this thing always goes. This thing always runs, but it always just sits in the garage. Every now and again I get it out, I fall in love again and go, no, not selling it, put it away. But anyway, let's go and see what we're going to do, eh? Okay, so in here you'll see whoever owned the car last time. Now that stereo is just sitting in there, like it's just sat there for the car show we went to. I do have a standard VN stereo hanging around somewhere that I'll put in there. I've got a new surround here that I bought 10 years ago, which that surround, because it has the what's it called, the driving light switch in it. I paid like $85 for that about 10 years ago. I dread to think what they're worth now. And someone's put these gauges in here. I understand what they were trying to achieve, but yeah, I'm not a fan. So that's all going back to standard. I've got all those pieces from stuff I've collected. I've noticed the hood liner's dropped again at the back from sitting around, so that'll have to be repaired. Finding those back strips there is painful. Other than that, it's just a good clean in here and we should be all right. But let's take my sweet up for a run and drive my car as well, Nicole. See how funny I am, guys? Anyway, I hope all that makes sense to you guys. Sorry about the no edit. We're just going to roll with it. And yeah, I just facing a computer is probably not where I'm at today. But okay, so if you guys listen, right, you'll hear when I turn the diff chattering because of the spool. Two wheels all the time and she just kicks this thing. It's just a beautiful old girl. We'll go for a little bit of a drive and yeah, go from there. This auto just shifts like it is just a great thing. We won't go that way, the road's too rough. This thing's pretty low. The back was lower when I got the car. I did change the springs in the rear to bring it up a touch because it was so low. It's still got the standard black SS steering wheel. This door trim's got a mark on it here. I will try and find a better door trim when we actually get it ready to sell. But it just, you see what I mean though? But for something that's, might wind these windows up. I'll do it. My car, this one is a power pack. It does have electric windows. You know, it is a good car. It rattles a little bit because it's so low, but it really makes the car how low it is. I don't think I'm going to put any other sort of wheels on it. I'm going to leave the SS wheels. The rears will need to be replaced because they seem to wear out a lot quicker than the front ones. Yeah, but I don't know. I have a lot of cars. Do I sit it around? I always do say that I'm not in it for the money with the cars. I do need to make a living. So does that mean I sell this and let someone else enjoy it? Because I just think even someone with not a lot of mechanical knowledge could own this car and really enjoy it because it does it. The teething problems are done, you know, and it is just a good car. Look, it's not too loud. The problem is me Jag, right? So the Jag you can drive and park anywhere and it not get really touched. It gets a little bit of attention, but nothing like what this thing gets. You know what I mean? When this thing's clean and you go park it somewhere, you know, young blokes know what it is, and you just, yeah, run that risk of jealousy of people keying it, I suppose. That's not really out here something that would happen, but you put a small, if I change the diff to 308, which I've got a 308 LSD there, I'll probably have to pull the box and put like a 28 converter or something in, and then that'd compensate. The diff gears would be slightly different, higher, but it'd flare quicker. I don't know. It's hard to know which way to jump, guys, honestly. You sort of, I don't know. But I do have other ones there. Do you care, Nicole?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Makes no difference to you?
Makes no difference at all. It made a difference when you bought the car. Because we were broke.
When I bought this car, what happened is it was on eBay. It had a reverse cow scoop on it, and it was in Melbourne, and I was unloading grain at Ingham's Chicken in Brisbane. I'm waiting in the lineup, flicking through eBay, going, oh geez, and I bid on this car. And back then, this is the car that set me along the way for where I'm at now, because I bought the car, bid to 5 grand. It ended up going for like 12 grand or something, like an outbid. I couldn't go any further. I knew I didn't have the money, and I stopped. But then 2 days later, I got a message through eBay from the guy to say, look, you bid to 5 grand. If you can pay me 5 grand, you can have the car. And I'm like, why? What happened? He said the guy that went to 12 grand said he needed 6 or 8 weeks to pay. He goes, I've got a tax bill and I need to pay it. He goes, and I contacted the guy that bid against him, and he bought another car already. So if you've got the money, dude, it's yours. So I ended up buying it sight unseen out of Melbourne. So yeah, I just bought this car. I've only bid to 5 grand, but it's I've got to pay for it. So it went onto a credit card, and yeah, it got delivered by Seaver, they were a really good transport company. Anyone that wants to move stuff interstate, I highly recommend them. They done really well. And a mate, Matty, picked it up down in Brisbane, and it stayed at his house for a couple of weeks because I was out west working. But then I got it home because I was going to daily it, and I realised what it was and how good it was. And then, yeah, it had rego on it in Victoria at the time. I drove it until that rego ran out, and then I just never had time, or I never got back to repair it, you know, like it was just, yeah, so that's how I ended up with it. The guy paid his tax bill, I suppose, and I ended up with a nice car, and he got the money he needed to move on with his life. And yeah, but he was actually building it as a burnout car, because back then they weren't worth a lot, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I got a bargain. I could have had the reverse cowl bonnet, but back then, 10 years ago, reverse cowls weren't really the done thing, but he had the original bonnet. So the original bonnet come with it. I think you want an extra 1,200 bucks or something for the bonnet. I wish I had bought it now, but what do you do? So that's sort of where we ended up. But this thing's just good. It doesn't run hot. It just, you know, I don't know. But I honestly do think that it needs to go to move the workshop to the next, it's not a big powerhouse, it's not a race car, but sometimes when you modify things and keep modifying them, it's like the Jag at the moment, where it's a flow-on effect, where one thing leads to another. Before you know it, a set of $1,000 cylinder heads are costing me 4.5 grand to fit. It just, battery on the camera, okay. Yeah, so Nicole's just said the battery's starting to go flat, so I'm going to head to the car wash now, and we will start to give it a wash. If the battery runs out, that's the end of this one. But I just thought I'd share with you guys where I'm at and what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of you guys now, through YouTube, it's amazing how many friends I've made. Like, I can't believe the amount of guys that we talk about cars all the time, and their kids, and what's going on in their life. It's been quite good, you know, like it's a lot of like-minded people, you know, and I'm hoping to build on that camaraderie, probably a bigger word that I'm looking for, but that you know, it's good, you know. You're having a down day, and then one of you guys will message me, oh dude, this happened, or me kid, this happened, and it brightens your day a little bit, because honestly guys, I have some shit days, I'm telling you. Like, I have some terrible days. Yeah, everyone wants to be the boss until they are, and you know, like, you probably have noticed that, oh, Captain, he does a lot for me. He works for me, obviously, but it kills me inside that I can't work on my own cars. And he, this is Kingatow too, by the way. Anyone that's never been to Kingatow, this is where we live out in Western Queensland. We're about 2.5 hours, 3 hours west of Brisbane. I find Kingatow to be great through all this pandemic stuff. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's been really good. No real lockdown stuff, no real carry-on. I towed that Jeep for them from over in Inland Mirror when they bought it. Oh, it's for sale. Yeah.
Don't make it easy for me to film, do you?
It's a bit low, this thing, guys. But it is nice, isn't it, Nicole? Like, it's not... Nicole rides in a lot and drives a lot of my cars that are half put together, I suppose. But this thing's always just been all right. I'm looking forward to going through, though. I'll put that stereo in, get this dash stuff sorted out. Hood liner's got to be done. I'll probably change that aerial because it's always been like that since the day I got it. So it's just the aerial's broken. It's just one of those things that you don't, you know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, I do have the other cars there. This will move my business forward, which is really what I'm about, is heading towards that restoration stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It is a nice car. It's definitely not a race car, but it is reliable. For someone, whoever ends up with this, I think I am going to sell it. I've got to do that workshop. See, I could go through, I could sell that Patrol. There's that big van there. There's a 300ZX turbo. So if anyone wants a turbo Z31 Nissan 300ZX, hit me up, because that'll be going through the auction soon as well. I just don't want to deal with advertising stuff on Facebook. You just get the biggest bunch of lunatics and fucking dropkicks you've ever met in your life. And I just don't have time for the time wasters. I just, you know, I know when I look to buy a car, Andrew, give me a call, come pick up that ute. Seriously. I know what I'm doing. Like, I look at the pictures, I know what's going on, I know whether I'm going to buy it or not pretty much when I leave, unless there's something drastically wrong with it. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It's a hard call. Like, I done that video last night with you guys, and a lot of you are like, oh, I wouldn't sell it, I wouldn't, but it's hard. I don't want to get finance for the workshop to do stuff at the workshop, because if COVID does hit or something happens, if I don't have finance, come on, God, some people don't know how to drive. Like, there's no stop sign, no giveaway sign, no nothing, and they stop there. Yeah, like, it's no finance is the key to success, I feel. If you can work a little bit harder and do a little bit more to pay for things and slowly do things, you're a lot better off. I'm very stressed all the time, but it takes, if I had the finance stuff on top as well, then I would be sideways all the time. But I don't know, what do you do? Yeah.
The thing is, this has been part of our family for so long now that it is actually like selling one of your children.
It is. We've had it forever. It was
the same as when we had the Skyline.
Yeah. I had an R33 Skyline, a 1.5 M-spec thing. It was on coilovers and stuff. It wasn't super low, but it was about 85,000 Ks or something, manual turbo. It was white. I sold it to buy the second truck for the workshop. I don't regret selling that. I didn't use it. I wasn't attached as much as I was to this thing. When I bought the Skyline, I should have bought a WRX. But at that stage, Captain hated WRXs, hated him, and I was talking to him. He was down on the Gold Coast still, and he's like, no, you want to get like, get a Skyline or something. Don't buy a WRX, the shit boxes and all this. And then when he moved up here, he needed a car to drive, and I had a WRX, a silver one that someone had sprayed plastic dip all over, but it was a nice manual silver. And like I said, look here, you drive this way, you're up here. I think there's something wrong with he lost the keys to his Triton, that's right, and he needed a car, so I gave him that, and he drove it round, and now he is a Subaru guy as well, because he realised how good like a WRX is, and he liked that one. Once he drives Nicole's one, which hopefully it'll be next year now, I'd say, we'll get that out and do the timing belt on it. It needs some CV boots and things, and we'll go through and get that sorted out. But alright, so we're coming into the car wash here, guys. I'm going to give this a wash, and before there's tears about using this brush here to wash the car, I'm about to clay bar it and polish the whole thing, so any small marks that this brush might or might not put on is really irrelevant, guys. Okay, so we'll warm these windows up, and I'll probably give the engine bay a hit at the end. So I'll just pop it to start with, and we'll give her a quick wash. Yeah, so as I said, guys, we're just going to do a one take. I'm not going to edit this. Basically, I'm going to once we get back, before I even polish the car, I'm going to take a couple of photos, and I'm going to fill up my pencil case. That's my wallet. Do you run a pencil case for a wallet as well, or am I the only one that's special? All right, let's yeah, so this is a big step for me, actually, coming and washing this to get it ready. See that mark right there? I lose sleep over that at night. It was sitting at home, and I was at the bike, and a thing slipped off and hit that guard, and yeah. Righto, so much for my theory of a one take. The battery just went flat in the camera, so we're using the cold phone, and I'm going to have to edit. But
I'll edit for you.
I'm just going to join the two files together and whack it up though. And yeah. I don't know, it's a bittersweet thing, this thing, I don't know. You know, have you guys ever, like, we've all had cars that we wanted to sell, and any of you guys in the same position as me at the moment, thinking, should I sell it or shouldn't I? Yes, the market is good at the moment, but that's not why I'm selling it. If it wasn't for the workshop, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. As far as I'm concerned, it can just sit there. But you know, it could just sit there as far as I'm concerned. But just to move to that next level, it'll get me out of my truck a little bit quicker. I did decide on the rear spoiler that I didn't get the paint repaired on it. I just left the little cracks, like you see that there? There's a few of them along it because it's the original rubber SS spoiler. I went for originality, leaving it alone rather than repainting it. The cost to get that sorted and repainted is probably only 250 to 500 bucks. It's not a lot of money, but I don't know. It's one of those cars that it's prissy to me. It's hard. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to wreck it. I care too much, which makes it unenjoyable. Does that make sense? That it's just, I've put it that far up on a pedestal that it's making it an unattainable, unenjoyable car. Like, I'm trying to wash it and I'm worried I'm going to knock it with a brush. Like, I don't know. Whereas the Jag, you know, even though that thing was just going to be a clean up and a patina car, but obviously it's gone well past that now, to something, yeah, to a life of its own on. But it's well worth it though. One thing, Savannah, my daughter, and Joe, her friend, want to use it for their formal. So I'm actually pretty chuffed at that, to be honest, that they like the Jag enough to use it for their formal one. I want to encourage her. She's got her learners, and you probably saw the Holden Cruise as we drove out the driveway before. That's just one for work. Jump on that side. That's one for work that we've just cleaned up to sell, and I brought that home for her to use to learn to drive. So hopefully we can get her driving up enough for her to drive herself to the formal, which would be pretty cool. Do many kids actually drive themselves to formals in their own classic? Or, you know?
No, they generally hire them.
Oh, that'll be alright. It's not like it's a cam V8 bloody big stall converter thing, is it? It's a luxury sedan. We'll see how we go. She's worried about her exams at the moment and getting through that, so I got told to leave her alone about cars until then, just before. So she's a good kid. She's a really good kid. But yeah. Yeah.
And you're learning the cues of Savannah because you knew there was something wrong.
Yeah.
And she wasn't impressed because she felt like she was being pressured to drive.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep. Oh, wiped me out.
Yeah, so I don't know. This thing will be mint once it's washed again. and then we'll get it home, and I'll probably spend tomorrow. I've left the truck at work, so I can't just whip out for a quick tow. Because what happens is it's, oh, someone rings, do you do a tow? Yep, and I'll whip out to do a quick tow. Next thing I think, oh, I've got a couple I can pick up from there. I'll just grab them quickly, drop them. Next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock again, and I've worked all day again. And I'm getting older, guys. I need to slow down. I'm, yeah, but it took me a lot of work. I've talked to Leaf about it this morning. You know, as stressed as we get and as busy as we are, like the engine shop now with Leaf, it's gone crazy. He's just got that much work to do. And that's not what we were trying to achieve either. We were trying to, as two mates that have known each other our whole lives, we just wanted something to do together that we both enjoy, just to live our days out as friends, just cruising and having fun, you know what I mean? So, but with anything that I do, things get out of hand, and yeah, I don't know guys. So where are you guys at with it? Am I selling it? Are you buying it? This is where you'll really start to see these black strips I was talking about and how much of a difference it makes. I've got to get all the little black caps back to the wheels. Little things like that, it'll just really set the car apart from anything else that's for sale. You know, if I went and bought some Momo Stars or something like that, you know, that'd really set it off with a set of tuners. I might even go buy a set anyway just to do some photos. And I can use them for my Duke or for one of the other cars. I might even go and buy the Momo Stars that we're going to use, or the Walkinshaw wheels we're going to use on the SV89, and that way we can fit them up on this with just different photos. Might help to sell it a bit, you know. Look at that. Engine bay a quick hit, so I can start the car up for that. Make it better. Have any of you guys got cars that you've had for 10 years plus that you couldn't consider selling? Wouldn't that make a shepherd fucking dog? Yeah. Can you see what I mean about those strips now, guys? How they really pop? You want to bring these in the steam off? cleaners in the back off the Jag, off the blown Jag. Got 2 of them for it. Not that I ever drive that thing either. But I don't know. I think this video is something a little bit different, guys, and it's just a non-edited, you know, show to, you know. Yeah, it might be turning around there with that mini spool. Modified cars, guys. Why do we do this stuff again?
Scratchy scratch.
That's all right. Built to scrape this thing perfectly. It's got just the right amount of scrape. Oh, she got a bit wandery there. Wet tyres, and she just, yeah, guys. I don't know. We'll get her home and we'll yeah, let it sit and. I'll not let it sit, I'm going to let it dry off. I'll get it into the shade and let the panels cool down a bit, and I think I'll start with the detailing process, and then once the Jag's out of the workshop, this can go over and we'll go through this and get into the auctions. It's going to be a good video, but don't you reckon, watching this thing go through the auctions? It'll be interesting, you know. Like, I don't know if I'll film it that happening or not, or just let it go through and then I'll show you after the auction what happened. I don't want to, I don't want to, like, I know I'm not kidding myself that I'm anything like Mighty Car Mods, but they have issues with people bidding on stuff on eBay. If they try and advertise something, they've got to get friends to do it, you know. But 11s. I love the smell of rubber in the morning. I don't know. What do you do, guys? Can't keep them all.
This is a very shaky video.
That's all right. These boys know about lowered cars.
Oh, my kidneys don't.
The roads out here are rooted. It's not the car, it's the roads. I get down to Brisbane and it's like heaven. Like how nice it is driving around. You get out here and it's just ridiculous. I'm actually going to put a suspension seat in my truck very soon. I'm going to see if I can modify an Isuzu one or something to fit. Because I'm getting old, you know. Yeah. What do you do? What do you do?
You know you're going to have to.
And before anyone asks us, I'm not up for swaps. Like I'm the only reason to sell this car is to put money to the workshop. I've got plenty of cars. Unless, no swaps. Unless it's something crazy that I definitely can't.
No swaps. You can't go no swaps, unless, no swaps. There's no swaps on this one. I veto the swaps.
I have a disease, guys. I really do.
I don't often veto stuff, but I'll veto the swaps.
But it's sort of, and no lowballs either. I've got a mate with a standing lowball offer. He just said if you get lowballed and you need the money, which I don't need the money and that, but it'll end up in his collection. So it'll actually just sit there. I just won't sell it. I don't know. I can't see the classic car market going down at any time soon. I don't care what they've got to say about fuel and all the rest of it, taxes and stuff. Most of us people with classic cars, most of them drive them very, very rarely anyway. And it's more like a piece of art. Well, it is to me anyway. It's more like a piece of art where it's just, I just love the look of it, the feel of it. I love everything about it. I love the mechanical side of things. How good's that auto? Like, amazing. But yeah. Small saw converter in this would really liven it up a bit further. But yeah. Almost home again, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I was going to do it live, but I just figured it'd be easier just to do it, edit it. The footage would be better. I didn't realise my camera was going to go flat. So Nicole will just stick these two files together and yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, I don't know. What do you do? And what are your thoughts on me putting an LS into that other VN I've got up the back, that other SS? to you guys, I do have 5 litres and that there. I've got roller cam ones and stuff. There's no engine in it now, so I'm not pulling it apart to do it, because I would never do that, because I'm a VN snob, as you know. But it doesn't have a motor. I wouldn't mind a turbo LS. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? It will be an auto. I won't be putting a manual in it. Getting old, you know, lazy. Oh, look at that, the shades I've crossed, so nothing like chewing up your driveway a bit. All right, let's jump out. Let's have a quick look at the outside now that she's been washed. And the tip of the day is, right, if you're storing an old car, right, say you've bought an old car, or you've got anything, an old JDM car or anything, and you know that it's sitting in your backyard and you're not going to get to it for 6 months or whatever, sometimes that 6 months leads to 2 years. So your handbrake, don't put your handbrake on when you park it. Chock the wheels, leave your handbrake off, because if you leave that on, the brake, I get it all the time, where the brake pads have rusted, or the brake shoes have rusted to the drum, and then yeah, it's the wheels are seized up and you can't move it, so it just makes it really hard. But if that does happen to you, if you pull it backwards, because the brakes are made with a leading shoe to grab, if you pull it backwards it should release, but sometimes you can't get in there to pull it backwards. Look at that, it's still filthy because of the water in Kingaroy, but yeah, all right. But anyway, you can see what I mean about those stripes and stuff there though, guys. How it just makes the car, like, just, yeah. Righto, well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Give me your input down below, but as always, being polite and not being an arse costs nothing. And yeah, so yeah. All right, guys, say hello to your sister. See you.